If you guys can you guys hear me now? Well, welcome again. Welcome again. Apparently, I'm a little rusty, but welcome again to another episode of Latin Explaining, guys. To the ones that already started this chat, I want to give a huge shout out to y'all. Hi, Jose. Hi, Don Armando. Hi, Cafe 702, Morena. Welcome, guys. Thank you for getting the chat started. As people come in, please make sure you like this video, you subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. And one thing I'm going to ask from the people that are coming in is that if you have not hit the bell for notifications, we have an issue, okay? So make sure that you hit that bell of notifications and you press all, because obviously you guys know I'm a new mom and I operate on impromptu time right now. So of course I don't want you to miss any of my shows. So make sure that you help yourself to stay current with my content. Now I see that Blood Moon just came in. Hi Blood Moon, ¿cómo estás? So guys, today's gonna be a show that I know is going to upset some people. You guys know I don't know. Somehow, do you guys think I love to upset people? If you think I love to upset people, put a number one in the chat. If you think I don't, it's just that people get upset by what I say. Just put a number two, right? But I think today, before we start, I also want to give a huge shout out to the people that are watching through Twitch. I'm also streaming on Twitch at the same time. Eventually, I will also, uh, transmit to Rumble and stuff like that because I want to concentrate on Rumble a little bit more. Oh, Morena says LOL too. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are putting number two. So that means that, yes, is that people have beef with me, not the other way around. Blood Moon said number one. That's hilarious. Well, regardless of the situation, right? I'm not going to shy away. You guys know that I am not notorious for being shy about my ideas. I love to just say whatever's on my mind in the best way possible, even though some people, might get offended because we live in a generation that's made out of glass. Everything's offensive. Everything is bad. Yeah, thank you, Cafe. People are so damn sensitive. I don't know why, but I hate it, right? And there's a couple of things I want to touch on before I start today's show. And the first one, I wanted to bring a few news, but I'm not going to bring them because they're not related to the topic. So I'll leave it for another show. But one thing I want to say is that I'm in no way, shape, or form trying to come at people or I will disrespect people in their personal form. I'm going to come just at their message and the stuff that I have seen, right? But unfortunately, certain things are going to bleed into their personal lives because, I mean, that's basically what they're talking about. And one thing, hey, Irby, I'm sorry. I got carried away talking. But one thing I want to say is that you guys know that I consume a lot of Manosphere content, a lot, absolutely a lot. And I enjoyed a lot of the content created by the late Kevin Samuels, also known as the Godfather. May he rest in power. And one thing I will say is that I've noticed that after he died, a lot of people have been, I don't know, kind of like acting funny. I see that MK is like, put your Rumble on. Oh, yeah, definitely. I'll put my Rumble. A lot of people have been acting kind of funny when it comes like after Kevin's death. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. I'll put my Rumble link in a minute. So one thing I would say is that, contrary to popular belief, right? If you did not consume Kevin Samuels' content, you're gonna think that he was very abrasive and he hated women and whatever people say, right? Because a lot women have turned into this like not touch, not approach type of group of people. Men too, contrary to popular belief, they have turned into the same. So now we cannot talk about people somehow. So he was one of the most balanced people in the manosphere. The manosphere, for the people that don't know what it is basically it's a group of YouTubers that are basically voicing out their concerns, their woes, their tribulations when it comes to the sexual marketplace in not only America but throughout the world, right? And a lot of factors play in there when it comes. Hey, Daniel Valencia, what's up? Like, if you come from a single parent household. Hey, Risa Realm, if you come from, you know, a two-parent household, if you were trained to be a marriage-minded person, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, MK, I want to emphasize on that, especially the Black manosphere, because of course the white manosphere, it's just, I mean, it is my opinion, they can come from me if they want to, but to me they're very whiny and weak. I don't know, that's the impression that I get from them. So one thing I would say is that uh, one thing that I would say is that when it came to touching on these topics, one thing I appreciated about Kevin was that he not only spoke to women, he also placed a lot of responsibility on men. And if you guys consume his content or not, if you even go to his platform, you will see that he had more than 500 videos related to talk about men. He started talking about men, shaming men for the stupid stuff they do, for the responsibilities that they were not taking care of, for the things that they needed to, you know, better in order for them to be suitable for marriage. So he was very balanced, and he generally, I think, yes, he had some entertainment kind of Kool-Aid going on, but for the most part, Kevin tried to put people together, men and women, bring them together by humbling both of them. But what we're seeing now is that once Kevin Samuels died on May 5th, 2022, we are seeing all of these YouTubians, right, being thrown in the mix, fighting each other for the throne. You know, and what they're basically doing is talking a lot of nonsense. I've heard a lot of things for him. For example, right, we have people saying, well, a man, and I've heard this from a lot of people. Even Kevin Samuel said that, and I disagree with him on that. Like, a man is supposed to get a woman that's fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, that cooks, cleans, it's beautiful, inspirational, whatever, whatever. And he, even with all of that, and comes with no kids and a low body count, uh, even with all of that, the man is still allowed to cheat on you. You're supposed to take it with grace and a smile, which I disagree 100%. If MK cheats on me, he knows what's up. If I cheat on MK, I definitely know what's up. Like, I don't know a single stable marriage that will be like, yeah, like, I'm gonna stay. So one thing I would say is, the first person, hey Gigi, what's up? The first person that I saw like talking a lot of crap about this, especially one thing I would say, as women, the lack of solidarity and the disrespect is outrageous. Because, and the sad part is that it's coming from people that are highly moral or not married. For example, and I'm sorry that I'm gonna bring up people that are supposed to be considered like queens of the space, right? First woman that I'm gonna bring up is just Pearly Things. Yes, I don't think just Pearly thinks just Pearly, just Pearly. Oh my god, whatever. I don't think Pearly is racist like a lot of people try to say. I think she was misinformed by another black person. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's not. Look at Blum says men look for attractive women. All the other stuff comes later in the relationship if it lasts. Yeah, I agree with you, Blood Moon. You just have to be pretty. So just Pearly things, in my opinion, I don't think she was racist. I think Obsidian went literally with a surgical, approach to line by line by what she was saying. And yeah, I think we all were on accord. She was just misinformed. She was a little bit on an ignorant side. Of course, she's very young when it comes to this type of topic, and it's not her lane. So of course, she made insensitive commentary, and a lot of people disagree. But that does not make her racist. Now, moving from the race part. Uh, I do think that she's a hypocrite, right? I don't think Pearly lives up to what she preaches. You know, she preaches that women should look the other way if men cheat, that women should stay with a man even if he goes away. Uh, uh, oh, Gigi. Yeah, but you know what, Gigi? I was not gonna go. Uh, I was not gonna go. She says, I didn't know if you had background noise, but I thought you going on Melanie's panel would have been entertaining. LOL. Yeah, but you know what? I did not want it to go on because one thing I absolutely hate is when people try to make excuses for the fuck shit they do. Okay, and that's all she did. She did it on Mike TV. She did it on her show. She did it on MTR's crossover show part two. But I'll get to that point in a minute. So people started coming for just lonely things, like Alan Preach said on their video. And basically, because she's 27 years old, she's unmarried. She's not a traditional woman by any sort. She's ungroomed. Like, I don't know if people realize what type of chick this girl is. Okay, to be honest with you, this chick is fucking around fat man that happened to be like other people's baby mama. Like that was her only verifiable boyfriend, was a fat dude that was catfishing her and allegedly had another baby mama. I'm like, where is your husband? Where is your husband of years that we can verify? And how many men of substance are actually verifying you or trying to come at you to marry you? Because you're talking a lot about what women are supposed to be doing for men. And as a married woman myself, I've been with MK for years before I even turned 30 years old. And one thing I would say is that half of the shit that she talks about will not work on a real relationship. In the real world, that does not work. So moving past from all the stuff that she keeps saying, can we say that Pearly is genuine in what she's spreading? No. Does she really make good points sometimes? Absolutely. There's a lot of things that she said that I personally agree with, that women need to chill out with the thought behavior, that women need to calm down the pedestal thinking that we are greater than life. We're not. But one thing I would say is that we need to start humbling ourselves and stop praising the cult that is the red pill movement. And I think a lot of people are not willing to say that out loud. But the red pill movement, I am so sorry for the people that will hate me for this. If you're a red pillar, you're in a cult. If you're a red pillar listening to me and you think the red pill community is not a cult, then I will challenge you to do this. Name me 3 things, 3 that are wrong with the red pill rhetoric. 3 things that are wrong, that you disagree with and that are wrong. If you're able to say those 3 things, then I will grant it to you. They're not a cult. Now, moving from Pearly, a lot of people, when she made those commentary, a lot of people started yelling about the white woman that had the audacity to talk about black people and slavery and reparations and whatever. And I noticed that nobody talk about her best friend, or at least the best friend that she claimed to have on social. And yeah, Gigi, definitely a lot of weirdos, a lot. So basically, Don Armando, please let's not start with the kindergarten insults, okay? Let's just focus on the content, comment on the content, okay? I don't want to have to time out people. So, like I was saying, one of her friends, it's also known on this YouTube streets as Real Fem Sapien. And again, I've listened to this lady in the past. I was on a panel where I was invited by the lovely Miss Che Charday. I was invited alongside Luke Hasley and Real Fem Sapien. And we were talking about the concept of the passport bros, and if it was viable, if it was realistic, if Latinas were more feminine than American black women, which I disagree. You guys know that I disagree 100% with that. It's just that black people in America, I don't know, they are in conflict with each other so much that they don't realize what's happening around them, right? Because the same problems that they have happen all around the world. I see that Morena says they allowed her to be comfortable enough to express her feelings on certain topics, no matter how insensitive it was. It's definitely her followers' fault. I agree 100%. But to be honest with you, Morena, do you guys really think that Pearly was racist because she said the same? She basically voiced out the same talking points as Thomas Sowell. I don't think so. I honestly don't think she was even insensitive. I think she actually comprehended what Thomas Sowell was saying. And last time I checked, that was a black man. Just because majority of people don't agree with Thomas Sowell because the stuff that he says can come up as abrasive, uh, that does not mean he's wrong. I don't necessarily think that everything he says is wrong. Now, there's a lot of things that Thomas Sowell says that are wrong, and I'm gonna say it again for the people that are a little slow and like to jump like little Easter bunnies to conclusions. There's a lot of things that Thomas Sowell says that are wrong. A lot of things that Thomas Sowell says are wrong, but a lot of things that he said are not wrong. Okay, two things can be right at the same time. So back to what I was saying, uh when we're talking about Pearly and we move to Real Fem Sapien, we're something. I don't know. I told MK the minute I came out of that interview, I was like, there's something about this lady that's off, right? And I didn't give it too much thought that day, or in the upcoming weeks, because of course I was like 7 months pregnant, and I was like, maybe because I'm pregnant, like I just feel kind of weird. But there's something about her that was off, right? So the more I watch her content, the more it was cringe. It was so cringe to see. Like, I remember when I rewatched the interview and we were talking about the shame tactics used from Latina moms. Like, I have a lot of Latina ladies out here, and you guys know that our moms always tell us things that will happen to us in the most crazy ways in order for us to understand things. For example, I'll give you the first one. My mom taught me how to clean and be clean by telling me that the worst thing that could happen to me was that my husband will leave me because I am dirty and disgusting. And she would tell me that all the time, you know, because shaming is what works. When I was 12 years old, my mom tried to teach me how to cook. I wasn't good at it, so I was the designated person that made the sofrito, because she told me all the time, "You're a disgusting cook. Nobody wants to eat your disgusting food." So if you did not experience that, eventually I turned into a better cook, but it took me years to learn, and I was years in the doghouse when it came to the kitchen, because that's the way Latina moms work. They shame you into doing the things you're supposed to do. They don't have time to play games with you. And that day, she started talking about how shaming tactics are not supposed to work. And I'm like, but you kind of see the result where there's no shame out here in the US. Mothers don't shame you. you kind of don't get the results that are needed to be a functional adult, let alone a functional wife. So she was like, oh, like, but she said something of the sort, like, oh, like, if you're gonna shame me for things that I see you doing. And I think she doesn't understand that as a mother, I'm gonna make mistakes, right? But if I did not tell my kid, even through shame, hey, this is not the way to go or the approach you should have in life. And you should do what I'm telling you and learn from my mistakes so you don't have to live through the same issues that I did, then I fail as a parent. And I think she kind of did not comprehend that when her mom was trying to teach her that. And the worst part is, like, she's out there, like, playing the Puerto Rican card when convenient. When convenient, I'm like, look, you were raised in a way that all of us were raised, but you came out a little crooked. I see that Morena says shaming is an understatement. The Matrix Theory, welcome to the stream. He says the Manosphere died with Kevin Samuels. Absolutely. I'm gonna stay on this commentary. The Manosphere did die with the Godfather. I'm sorry. It is what it is. If you don't like it, you can punch the air and kick rocks. The Manosphere is resting in power with Kevin Samuels. It's in heaven right now. It's not here. He's getting people married up there. That's how it is. Okay? None of these motherfuckers out here are trying to get you married. Some are trying to get you to be better than you are. I'm not going to lie. I love Obsidian. Okay, I love Obsidian's content. Okay, I love going to his channel. I love the topics that he touches. I think he's one of the few people remaining in this space that make freaking sense. But to be honest with you, the majority of these people don't. So let's just keep moving. We're talking about real Fem Sapien. You will find her very commonly talking about 304 culture, about talking about this unruly woman and how. First of all, she starts by saying she's a housewife. I'm a housewife. I'm a housewife. I'm a housewife. Okay. First of all, if you're on YouTube, and I want people to answer this on the chat, let me know. If you're on YouTube with 180,000, I think she's up now to 180,000 subscribers, and you're making videos constantly while at home, and you're a retired military woman, are you a housewife? I want people to answer that question. She is so freaking cringe. And the fact that she's trying to represent us as Latinas in this space is cringe worthy. Okay? Thank you, Morena. I cannot watch her either. She is so cringe worthy. She is super freaking cringe, but we're gonna get into her. This is a lady, and I'm not trying to comment no one personal, so I'm gonna say allegedly, right, to everything that's going on, but allegedly, this military girl used to be a very masculine woman that was very liberal, that was very pro everything else, and all of a sudden, she was in the military. She married this guy, and she was married to him for 5 years. That's awesome, right? Then all of a sudden, she divorces that guy, and all of a sudden, she marries someone of a higher rank. Later on, we discover that this guy of a higher rank was her husband's friend, allegedly. And I have to say allegedly for YouTube purposes, but that, if you don't believe me, look it up. Imagine you praising and shaming women for being prostitutes and thoughts and 304s and stuff, and you're out here, you divorce, and the person that you go and marry is your husband's former friend. And on top of that, you're marrying a 23-year-old senior man of you. And I saw her on Anton's when she was talking about this whole women need to submit, blah, 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 and all this fuckery that they were mouthing out. Yeah, Ramon, she might have pulled a rank, right? She might have pulled a rank, but the thing is like that is called, instead of pulling a rank, he pulled a skank. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. If I divorce MK, why do I have to marry his richer friend? That's not only disrespectful to him as my former husband, is disrespectful to myself. And as if that isn't enough, it's freaking disgusting. Okay, that is skank behavior. And I have no problem with that. Do whatever it benefits you. You know, if you have to climb the ladder or fuck your way up the ladder, look, I am all here for it. I will support you. I will send you a gift from your wedding registry. You know, it's all good. You know, fuck your way up to the top. If you got it, who am I to stop you? But don't be out here trying to be the epitome of femininity, of traditionalism, of Christianity, because none of those things are associated with you. You're a skank, miss. That's just how I'm sorry, that's just how it is. And I'm not even trying to make assumptions about her military life, but we all know from the military friends that we have here on this YouTube streets what they think and what they talk about military women with a whole sleeve of tattoos. That's why I don't come here. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I don't have a channel trying to shame women for their behavior. Oh, stop being a 3 or 4. Oh, don't be a single mom. Or don't be doing this and shaming your husband and he does so much for you. No, no, stop. Ramon, I'll send you a link of how that's confirmed. That is 100% confirmed by her. And then on top of that, she goes on Anton's channel, Anton Daniels, another person that I enjoy his content. Sometimes he's kind of wonky, but I enjoy some of his content. And she goes over there and says that she got tired of dealing with millennial men and be a build-a-bear and whatever, whatever. I'm like, yo, because her husband is 50 years old, highly unattractive. She pursued this man. He is on camera saying that she pursued him. That she 100% pursued him. He did not pursue her. So you went out your way, you saw a lonely 50-year-old dude, and you married this dude. We don't know anything about you or your previous life before you married this guy. And then this is the stuff that we hear about you. This is who you are. So the Manosphere took another L. Yeah, Jose, I will send you the link. This is the woman that's being praised alongside Pearl. I will say something in favor of Melanie King and MTR. Melanie King and MTR were associated with Pearly for the racist things that she said, and people dragged them through the mud. But there was no energy for real Fem Sapien. Last time I checked, isn't she grifting being a woman of color all throughout social media? What was her response to the shit that Pearly said that could be interpreted as black hate? Isn't she claiming to be Puerto Rican? Last time I checked, we have black in us. No, Ramon said, come on, remember that she's Boricua too. She went after the man she wanted. No, Ramon, that's not going after the man you want. That's going after the pension of the man you want. Because that man will fucking die. Okay, and then when she gets asked on Destiny's channel, hey, like what's gonna happen when you have to chase after your teenage kids and your husband is in his 60s, his mid 60s? She's like, well, he's so healthy that he's not gonna have any issues. Like, I am sorry that I'm gonna use this expression, but bitch, please. A 60-year-old man will never be a 30 or a 40-year-old dude. Okay, come on now. Come on now. It's just it's so weird and so cringe-worthy, the behavior we're seeing from these women. And I don't want to keep on pressing the issue, but it is true. She did not went after that. She went after the pension. She went after a man that was higher ranking. She's like, hey, I got me a sergeant. But guess what? This major or captain at the time, because he was a captain at the time she got with her. Now he's a major. He's making the big bucks. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, Jose, let me ask you a question. Is your vitality now at 60 years old? Do you think you can run after a 3-year-old the same way you could have run after a 3-year-old when you were 30 or 40 years old? Let the chat know the truth. Ramon says that too. She wanted the security after she had her modern woman fun. Unfortunately, there is a logic to it. No, there's no well, there's a logic to it. I agree with you on that. The logic to it is that she's a scamp. That's the logic. She's a 3 or 4. That's the logic. Look at what Jose said. No way, and he said it on capital letters. No one that I know that makes sense at 60 years old wants to be running after a freaking toddler. No one. Let alone at 50 also. No. Look at what Jose said. Men who are 50 and older should avoid women 30 and under. Thank you, Jose. Shout out to you. MK says there is logic to it, but then dudes will be mad if their women did it to them. Yeah, let's keep it real. Let's say that men are going to get into marriage, and if women see in your group of friends, Ramon, if your woman sees a man that makes more money than you, or she sees that your boss is available, it's okay if she divorces you and marries him. That's just, I mean, what would we call, and I want the ladies to answer this, right? Because from the men will get called misogynistic and all types of stuff. But the ladies in the room, if you're married to Ramon, right? It's hypothetical, right? And you see that Ramon has, let's say, like a top status, right? He makes decent money, he's really hardworking, he's a good man. And then you see that his boss, let's say his boss is 57 years old and he makes, let's say, 30K more a year than Ramon, and he's friends with Ramon. Let's say that you divorce Ramon and you marry his boss. Is that okay? And if that's okay, what would that be called? What should you be called as a woman if you do that disgusting move? I'm sorry. It is what it is. Morena says, when a man gets with a woman of significantly younger age, the bigger the chances they want the man for monetary purposes. Thank you. Morena says, like she will never do that. Thank you, Morena. Thank you, Morena. It's gross. Thank you. Thank you, Don Armando. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Gigi says there is shame for that. She will be judged. Yeah, she will. But you know what, Gigi? She does not care. Yes, Ramon, exactly. That's what she did. So out here, she's telling women, stay in your lane, stay in your marriages, love your husband. He does so much for you. Because again, I will buy her a gift. She is clever as hell. Okay? I don't have any more power to her for that money power move. Okay? More power to her. Respect. Literally, respect. My issue with it is you're out here telling women that that is 3 or 4 behavior and they should not do that. Thank you, Blue Moon. She's a smart hoe. It is true. She's a smart hoe. And again, I have no issues with you being a smart hoe out here. We know men do women dirty too. Mess them up before they mess you up, right? I guess that's the logic. But don't try to, you know, have a piece of poop and call it chocolate. You are one of these women. Stop shaming other women for stuff that you're not doing yourself. Like, stop. First of all, you're not a housewife because you're making big bucks out here on YouTube. You have a platform. You're working, taking time out from your family, from your husband to make big bucks out here. You're a retired military woman. You're not the epitome of femininity. Shut up. Okay. Now, moving from real Fem Sapien, I'm gonna continue. All right. Ah, Johnny Mills says, thank God I learned from the song Gold Digger from the legendary hip hop group EPMD. It's talking about make sure she's not a gold digger. That's what I learned from that song. Let's just keep it real. Now, in the past, after all this start, coming out. Thank you, Gigi. Yes, making consistent content is a job. Thank you, Gigi. It is a job. You're not a housewife. How do I know this before people come for me, right? You guys know that I'm very open with this, right? I have very masculine ways. I went to therapy, and I still have a long way to go, right? I need to learn how to shut up and, mind my business, stay in my lane if I wanted to keep my man, right? Because that was the instruction that I was told by my husband. Now, one thing I would say is that the more deeper my relationship has gotten, which is marriage, living together, now having a child, the less time I have to be here with you guys. Have you guys not noticed? The minute I got pregnant last year, I started being very inconsistent with my content. I know you guys have noticed that because you've seen that I went from making 2 to 3 videos weekly on a consistent basis for a whole year and a half to now making impromptu videos, right? And the reason for that is that I have to focus on my home. So my thing is, you are pregnant out here making content on a consistent basis. Sometimes at times where you should be prepping dinner. If you're a housewife at 1 p.m., look, to the Latinas that are out here that cook and had your moms telling you what to do. What your mom used to tell you about the meat early in the morning? And what was the struggle that you forgot because you were fucking around? You forgot to take the meat out of the freezer in time. So when you hear your mom's car getting into the garage and you realize you didn't put the meat out, you know your ass is gonna get a whooping, a very bad whooping. Okay. So if you're making videos out here to shame women for behavior that you exhibit because you feel guilty about it and you don't want to see it on others, right? Thank you, Morena Candela. Yeah, everybody every mom had this struggle with their kids. Take out the freaking meat, put it in the freaking sink, and let it thaw it out. Nobody wants to have to manage frozen meat. And your ass was gonna get whooped. You know that your mom was gonna grab whatever she could put her hands on and she will fuck you up with it. Thank you, Blomun. Saca la carne. That's how it was gonna be. If she got you on an eye, on a cheek, over your head, like they say in Puerto Rico, te iban a dar hasta por dentro el pelo. Te iban a dar hasta por dentro el pelo if you didn't took the meat out. Okay, that's just how it is. So what are these so-called self-proclaimed housewives doing out here when it's time to be making dinner and prepping the veggies and cutting shit and peeling potatoes and stuff and mounting lasagnas? Why are they out here making content when real housewives, and I don't claim to be the most you know, I iron my husband's boxers type of housewife, right? But I don't have time to be out here. And I only have one kid. Okay. Hey, peace, Irby. So yeah, I'm like, imagine having a house to clean, laundry to fold, dinner to cook, sweeping and mopping and vacuuming and making beds and dedusting stuff. There's no time for you to be babbling stupidity on YouTube unless you're not the housewife you claim you are. Housewives don't have time to be making consistent content. That's just the way it is. And if you are a housewife that's in shape, that has to work out every day, even less. Period. So, ladies, don't get disrupted. And the men that are trying to ride this wave, and this is my problem with these ladies, that's why I'm going hard at them, is because they are telling men out here that that is the standard that they live by. When that's fucking undoable. It's undoable for me to be taking care of my home. Thank you, Ramon. Without help, like they claim it's supposed to be, right? Because no one's supposed to influence your kid, and you're supposed to be submissive and do all this stuff because otherwise we're lazy if we call him for help. There's no way in hell that you can do all these things and consistently be out here talking crap on the internet. So my guess would be she does have help. Thank you, Gigi. Especially when you make videos, they take so many hours. Yeah. Editing, doing thumbnails and all this stuff. Yeah, like come on. You do. Stop. That's just the way it is. You're not a housewife. You're not what you claim you are. Stop trying to impersonate us. A real housewife. There's a reason why they made the show Desperate Housewives, and they were really desperate and they were really irritated all the time, and they all the time had baby spit, and they had to clean the house, and they were in a bad mood, and you know they had different issues because being a housewife is not easy. You never clock out. You never clock out. And I am the blessed ones, right? Because I have a lot of help from MK. MK is really involved in the house, but still, he cannot be 100% hands-on because he has to go out and work. So I don't see him for over 13 to 14 hours. I don't see him for 13 to 14 hours every day. And then when he comes home, he can only be here for like 2-3 hours, and then he has to go to sleep. So yes, I'm like, come on. Hey, Robert, what's up? That's bullshit. Thank you, Blood Moon. Thank you. And Blood Moon knows about this because, again, another homemaker. That works. That works. Let's just put that out there. Come on, man. Now, moving from her, and after the Pearly situation, we started seeing a lot of people from the manosphere attacking each other because people started taking sides, right? And they started saying that Pearly was racist. Some people just did not want what Pearly was saying. So, of course, they started attacking each other. And we started seeing, like, all the hypocrisy started to come out, especially from women like Six the Goddess. Let's just put it out there. If you're not familiar with Six, I'm not super familiar with her, but I've watched a few of her videos, and I can tell you that that woman is thirst-trapping out here. Okay? If you're out here, if you watch, and it's allegedly the same woman that's talking crap about here and fluffing men with imaginary woman that's capable of doing all the things that they say they want, and then be able to take the cheating on top of that with blind eyes and a smile, right? Allegedly, this is a former stripper. I kid you not. This is a former stripper that's shaming women like myself, like you that is watching, and fluffing men out here with lies. Because you're talking about a life that you don't know nothing about. Ramon says, I did not know about the stripper part about her until recently. Yep, that's what's up. And Robert says, that boy Oshay went nuts for a month. He was making Pearly videos 3 times a week. Yep. Gigi says she still brings stripper energy for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that is your queen, guys. That's your queen. And again, I'm not saying that all of the teachings are wrong. There's a lot of things being said out here that I agree, and you guys know what of those things are because I've said it many times. And I've been called that, Gigi, a pick me shot, and I wear it with pride. Yes, I am a pick me because I don't want to be passed like a blunt. I don't want to be passed around like that. So again, there's a lot of things I agree with, but it's just to what point, and I want the people in the chat to actually tell me, to what point do we start demanding that the bitches talking about the standards that us as women should have actually have a verifiable clean background? Okay, like when are we gonna demand that these ladies have a verifiable clean background that I don't find? Because okay, I used to be masculine, right? Like I used to be very opinionated, argumentative, difficult to deal with. I had a little bit of toxic friends and family, whatever. But the blemishes that you see on the past of these ladies are disgusting things. We're seeing gross, disgusting things. That's just how it is. You have a gross background. Like, how many of these girls, to the women out here, I'm going to ask Morena, you have a young boy, right? Would you want your boy to marry one of these lovely women out here that are claiming to be something they're not? Like, would you like your baby boy to marry this woman? Ah, look at Ramon. I didn't know you had all that modernity in you. Let's keep it real. And again, seeks the goddess. Where is your husband? Where is your husband? And look, at Ramon. I feel for MK. No, MK, trust me, MK doesn't want to take that, so I have to shut up. I had no other choice. I see that Morena says, I notice people follow anyone with a BS cause and don't realize that they're funding the fuckery. Yeah, of course. MK says, it ain't only the woman killing the space. And Morena responded. Morena said, hell, French toast, no. He's definitely being schooled, and I hope he listens. Ay, 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 ay. So if you think that these ladies are basically being welcomed with open arms by men that are significant. I don't think. Thank you, Gigi. No husband inside, honey. No husband inside. And Ramon says she looks great, but can't keep a significant other. And what is that called in our book? The tottery. The tottery. Okay. And I can continue down the list. We have Courtney Michelle in the same spot, stabbing men. I mean, that's what the movement is called. She's not okay. She's not literally stabbing people. She's just promoting the movement. Stab, steal their asses back, right? As a response of the password bros. And I'm gonna say the only one of these women on this space that is married is real Fem Sapien, and we know she's married to like an elder person. Uh, so I don't even know if that counts, right? But I mean, whatever. Let's just grant it to her. She's married, but none of these ladies are married. So why should I, as a married woman, listen to women that are unruly, unmarried, full-blown 304s out here, telling women like myself what is the standard for wives, that we should take our husband's infidelity, that and we should take it with a smile, that we should do all these things and be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, have no kids, have this, have that we should not nag, argue, share chores. We should do all the housework, because that's what Pearly says. Men should just come, sit in the reclining chair, and just demand food. And then after that, if they demand sex after you've been working the whole fucking day, you should give it to them pleasantly. That's what they are saying. And that is the recipe for like a beautiful marriage. That's bullshit. That's some bullshit right there. Okay. I'm keeping it real. That's some bullshit right there. Why should we learn from unruly, unmatched, unhinged woman? Thank you, Morena. It's not the 1950s. It is not. It is not. And I'm not saying by far that I know for a fact that MK is exhausted. When Friday comes, I stay out of his way. Like I know he's going to come home and relax. I don't bother him with nothing. I don't say nothing. I try to have his food ready. I don't do anything other than just let him relax. The world is exhausting. So the world is too stressful for me to continue to like for him to come home and me be fighting with him. I agree with the ladies on that. We're not supposed to do that. Your man is not supposed to walk through the door and you start bitching about your day. That is true. But that does not mean that he gets to just sit down and demand shit from a reclining chair. Like, I'm sorry. That's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. No. That's not gonna happen. That's not the way marriages are. Now, does he have to come home and do all the chores and take care of everything? No, that's also not the way things are supposed to be. But it's a shared thing. Like he gives me a few hours so I can take a shower and relax and eat, without having to, worry about my son, because that's my main focus the whole day. So anyway, moving from the ladies, I agree with what MK said earlier about it's not only the women ruining the space. We have a lot of men out here, and I'm gonna get on the man. Please don't get sensitive about this. It's just the way it is. We have guys out here proclaiming the infamous passport bros. I'm gonna be very honest. We have men out here talking about. That's okay. We have men out here talking about how they're going to travel and get with women that that are cooperative, submissive, and have no kids and whatever, whatever. And I've noticed a trend that's so cringy. And I don't mean this as a disrespect, but I have Dominican people here. I don't have Brazilian people here, neither Colombian. But we all know very well that DR, Brazil, and Colombia is not the place to go if you're trying to encounter sweet, submissive, quiet, flower women. Come on now, we're Caribbean. We know better than that. Come on now. Come on. Let's stop the cap. We know. Ah, look at Blood Moon. When they get triggered, it makes the stream more fun. Yeah, I know. I know. So, so basically, if you hear my baby in the background, of course, he's right here with me. Again, it proves my point. Can you make content with a baby? Not really. Ah, look, Morena said, watch it, Denise. Only half of me is offended. So yeah, Gigi says everyone shit on passport bros as they should. It's hilarious. I don't think people should shit on passport bros when they're trying to just go ahead and find a wife because either is their sexual preference or because they want someone that's more innocent than the US or they want to find someone that's a virgin. I guess, well, maybe, yeah, in America that's in short supply. Let's just keep it real. But I mean, we're all women. Like, you think that women in the Philippines, that men are proclaiming that they're more feminine. Do you really think that these women are not marrying you for resources? Like, you really, like, let's exercise logic here. Okay? Let's exercise logic, right? Because men are more logical than us. Why a group of submissive, cooperative, feminine women will say, I don't want to marry the men on my country so that I can marry an American that's gonna come get me? Come on now. That's not hello, that's not necessarily feminine, submissive, cooperative, sweet behavior. She's hypergamous, just like American women. You just let's just call a spade a spade. You just don't want to be with American women because they have tasted all, or because you're just tired of American women. Let's just keep it real. Blomon says they're not looking for a wife, they want that kitty. Yes. Morena says foreign women are more savvy when it comes to that American. Absolutely. Gigi says they have been taking a lot of L's this year. It's been funny. Yeah, it's been laughable because you're basically talking out of your butt. Like, one thing is that you say, hey, I'm gonna go to El Salvador and try to find a woman that is sweet to me and it's nice to me. Okay, I subscribe to that. I will support. I'll even donate, man, to your GoFundMe so you can go find yourself a nice wife. But those are not the countries that are being mentioned. And if you're Latino and somebody tells you I'm gonna go find a wife in the DR or Brazil, last time I checked, wasn't Brazil like the epitome of prostitution for like old 90s, early 2000s, and the 2010s? I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying. Robert says, when passport bros tell me that they're going to the DR in Colombia for a wife, I laugh. Thank you, me too. I'm like, yo, no, man, no Caribbean. Don't go to Cuba. Don't go to Puerto Rico. Don't go to the DR. Don't go to Colombia. No Brazil. Go to Central America. I've said it many times. If you want a Latina wife that's sweet to you and nice to you, don't come to our countries. Go to Central America. That's where they are at. That's where they're at. They're not in our countries. Robert says, that's how I know they're full of crap. Yeah, they just want to go and create more whores in our countries. That's just how it is. And Morena says, as far as I know, Brazil has always been known for that. Yeah, they just want to have sex with someone that talks to them in Portuguese. Again, or in Spanish. It is, I mean, we need to call things by their name. Okay, let's just call them by their name. So come on now, it's a woman is not gonna say, "Oh, I'm not gonna marry the man here. I'm gonna wait for that American money." Yeah, of course. So come on, let's stop the cap. So this last week, we had a situation which was what Gigi was mentioning earlier when it comes to Melanie King. You know what? It's funny because Melanie King was one of the few ladies in the space that I thought was a beautiful woman, very articulate, very refined. I always thought she was, I don't know, different. And we come to this disappointment. Same with MTR. MTR was like the young nerd of the space that was actually very cool to watch his reviews and stuff. And then he started moving funny stuff. And they decided it was a cool idea to do a crossover between their channels and do a collab. Well, in that collab, Jesus F. Christ. That collab was, it was, I think they should have never do a collab. They should have just stick to their channels the way it was. That collab was horrible. Uh, in the collab, they decided it was cool to just answer questions while consuming alcohol throughout, I think, what, 2, 3 hours? And there was a question that was asked to Melanie because she was linked to Kevin Samuels as his friend, and that is verifiable. Like if people want to act brand new, like she was not friends with Kevin, they're hilarious because there's plenty of videos that show Melanie King as his birthday and stuff like that. So of course they were friends. So when she was asked during this stream why she was not at his funeral, even though she was his friend, she starts crying and she starts saying that she could not see like her friend in a casket, which is understandable. I don't know if you guys have the same issue as me, but I cannot look at dead people in caskets. Okay, I believe in closed caskets or cremation. Stop opening caskets, people. Somebody has to say it. If you don't know it by now, stop exposing your family members' dead corpse in an open casket. Okay, it's untasteful. Okay, it doesn't. And then if you're one of those fuckers that takes a picture of a dead body in a casket, you are mad foul for that. You are disrespectful. Okay, that person is no longer there. That is the resting form, and that should be preserved for no one. That no one should see that. Okay, no one should see a dead corpse all made up and dressed and whatever. I don't want to see that. That gives me the creeps. Yes, thank you, Ramon. In our culture, they put people in caskets and to kids. They show people in caskets to kids at funerals. Yes. No, Blood Moon. No, no, Blood Moon. She's like, I prefer open. You can see them one last time. I took pics, memories. No, hell no. What a nice memory. Do you want to see your dead grandma? Let me show you. We did a memory together. Like what the fuck? Like this is not a nice memory. Come on now. Okay, so she said that basically she did not wanted to see that man in that casket, which is understandable because it's creepy, especially if it's someone that you really love a lot, like a friend. So after she cries about that, she says, I need to twerk it out. Oh my God. This woman stands up in the middle of the stream and starts twerking online to the Kevin Samuels, the Godfather's passing. If that is not the same behavior that they criticize in other women, specifically Black women, I don't know what is. And that is not even enough. Oh, yes. That's what she does. She proceeds to cry. Like Gigi says, the cry twerk. It was uncomfortable to watch. You get, we call it Vergüenza ajena. Second hand shame. Second hand shame. Yes, Morena. Women be twerking for everything nowadays. And I don't know who told women that twerking, which is shaking your butt cheeks in public, was a good idea. That does not look good. That is designed for when you are with your man having sexual intercourse. That's it. I see that Gigi says, LOL, Melanie was drunk. MTR cute. She's single. Give her some slack. Fuck that. MTR is a 35-year-old man. She's a 41-year-old woman that's divorced with 2 kids. That's not mom like behavior. I'm sorry. No, she gets no pass. She gets no pass. Okay? She gets no freaking pass from me. That was super disrespectful to Kevin's memory. And then, as if that isn't enough, right? They continue to drink. And at the end, she's like, well, would you kiss me? Can you kiss me? And she started lusting at this man in his apartment, drunken as hell, in the middle of the night. That's the divorced mother of 2, that's 41 years old, lusting after a man that's 6 years younger than her, has no kids, right? And this is the woman that supposedly men were defending this morning because she was right. She gets a pass. Women are just jealous because they can't be you, Melanie. Okay? They can't be you, Melanie. That's what they're doing now. Why you don't? I was told this morning, why you don't come here and defend your point? Come up. Why you're scared of coming up? You're scared of coming up, Denise. Go up and talk to her and tell her your grievances. I'm like, I think Melanie knows that what she did was wrong. She knows that she was thirst trapping out here, that she was embarrassing herself, embarrassing her children in public, when she knows hundreds of thousands of people watch her content and MTR's content. She was being the same woman that are devalued that she talks about. That's what that was. And MTR, shame on you for hosting such a stream and defending that behavior on top of that, because that's what he's doing. He's defending that behavior. Like, it's not cool. And I'm gonna say it, right? Simps, I'm getting tired of the whole manosphere concept of simping, right? Especially from unmarried men. I've noticed amongst the wife blogs that I participate in and the wife groups, when we talk about this stuff, like, we all have the same sentiment. Unmarried dudes will be telling our husbands that they are simps because they buy us flowers, or because they did dishes one day, or because they took us out, or gave us access to a family account, whatever, or put us in the life insurance. They're simps because we're allowed to drive the cars, or whatever reason why they are simps for doing these things for their wives. Meanwhile, they're getting exclusive access to us. They're getting social status from us because we don't embarrass them out there. They're getting exclusive access to our womb. They're getting themselves reproduced. They come to a clean house that's homey. They get meals prepped for them. Their clothes get washed and folded and ironed. They get tended by us exclusively. And they get lots of affection and respect. Meanwhile, you have the single guys that are calling husbands simps for this, justifying a random strange thought on the internet while getting nothing from her. Thank you. getting nothing from this woman. Why would you defend Melanie King for doing disgusting things, embarrassing her daughters at 41 years old? She's not young. She's 41. If she was 21, I would say, you know what, let's call her some slack. She's 41. Come on now. I'm 35 and I even know that's not right. So yeah, come on. Thank you, Blood Moon. Yes, they are calling. They obviously never been in a relationship. They're calling married men Sims. Those are insults. And Gigi says they call the good men Sims. Yep. Morena says, and they stay single. Yes, that's how it is. That's just how it is. Oh, you bought your wife a piece of jewelry. You're a simp. Oh, you bought your wife the purse that she wanted. You're a simp. Oh, you gave your wife $200. She can go out and buy herself something. You're a simp. Oh, you paid for your wife's manicure. You're a simp. The hell? Have you been in a relationship, sir? No, but he's a simp. Okay. And I'm before I open the call lines, right? I'm going to say something. My theory on the red pill manosphere community, taking out two people that I admire and respect, and that's Obsidian and Dennis Sperling, right? I actually respect those two. I don't necessarily agree with everything they say, but the majority of the things they say make a lot of sense, and I have a lot of respect for those two. But the majority of people in this space are gonna come out like this. It's two people, because this is a cult. Okay, you have men that are angry at their moms and have unfinished business, and that is the truth. Let's keep it real. If we're telling women, forgive your daddy so that you can stop being mad at the man, which is 100% true. If you're a woman out here that's a man hating woman, you need to sit your ass down and forgive your father. The men that are out here that are single are not responsible for the shit your dad did. Your daddy ain't shit, so all the men ain't shit. You are crazy, woman. You are insane. Same for the guys. I get that your mama was violent and disingenuous, disconnected from you. That's not woman's fault. Chill out. Forgive your mama and keep it moving. You have mommy issues. Thank you, Morena. Yes, you have mommy issues if you're out here hating on women and expecting all these things. And it's starting to come off as you don't know how to forgive your mama. So you created all of these crazy rules for women to follow in order for you to get a wife. So women have to jump through all of this fire hoops in order to be with you. Oh, I see that. Hold on. The Ali report says Manosphere been dead. LOL. Those dudes are incels. I believe that. Morena says exactly. Forgive and move on. Yeah. You gotta forgive your mama so that you don't put women through fire hoops in order to be with you. Because you are also a flawed person. That a woman has to deal with whatever your mama didn't finish gets passed on the wife. And if you don't believe me, just ask any woman that's a wife. We do it with love, but it's true. Just the same way that men have to deal with whatever your daddy didn't finish in you. If you don't believe me, ask any married man. That's just the way it is. And the women that are part of this cult, and this is gonna shock some of these women, the women that are part of this cult are former skanks that feel guilty about their shit behavior and their blemished past, and now they want to bathe in conservatism that they don't even live by. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's why you're never going to find women that are of any substance preaching and babbling these talking points. They're not going to be babbling these talking points. That's just how it is. And like I stated before, if we are going to talk about how Cynthia G needs to forgive her daddy and understand that no one is responsible for her fucked up, crazy ways, these men out here that are talking crazy about all the hoops that women need to jump from in order to be with them need to forgive their moms. Forgive your mom. Let it go. She didn't know better. She was too young, right? Let it go. And it's crazy to me that they are praising these ladies that exhibit, for the most part, the same behavior they hated about their moms. That's just what's up. You can kick, call me anything but a child of God. You can get upset on me. You can unsubscribe. I've gotten those that tell me, I'm unsubscribing. Be on your merry way. Be on your merry way. But it's true. Forgive your mom, forgive your dad, get with a woman, get with a man, keep it moving, stop babbling stupidity. Now, I'm going to. So, my question is, guys, do y'all think that the manosphere is dead? My answer is it is dead. Kevin Samuels took the manosphere life with him. It's gone, it's dead. What we have right now is a pack of rabid dogs, men and women. That's it. We have a bunch of broken toys barking at each other. So if you want to express your opinion, you want to tell me how you think the manosphere is dead, or you want to tell me, oh, like you're wrong, the manosphere is alive, just come up. Come up. The link is in the chat. I see that I have Jose Negron in here. What's up, Jose?
Good afternoon, daughter. Long time no hear. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Same here, same here. So, what do you think about this whole topic of the manosphere being dead? Do you believe the manosphere is dead? Do you think it's alive? What are your thoughts?
I think aspects of the manosphere is dead, and other aspects are on life support. And I'm being kind.
So, can expand on that. What aspects do you think are dead?
Okay, first of all, this whole notion that we need to be better, what have you. It was in principle, it was a good idea, but it just went way off the goal. Basically, it's gotten to the point where if we're not trashing women, we're putting unreasonable expectations on women.
So okay, if that's what's happening, then can we say then that the manosphere is dead?
You know what? I'll have to say it is, and maybe I should give it last rights. Now, as a person that did marry someone abroad, okay, I did not marry her because I wanted the kitty. Okay, I was looking for someone, but in the meantime, I was not trashing American women over here. It just so happens I fell in love with someone that was outside the United States. I could just as easily find wonderful women here in the United States. But I think what we need to have realistic expectations, men regarding women and women regarding men.
Ah, look at what Gigi said. Gigi said Jose's a passport, bro. Ah, do you think? Do you consider yourself a passport, bro, Jose?
In some definitions, I would be considered. With me, I'm just was looking for someone that I can share life with.
Oh, got it. Got it. I'm gonna move
And
to MK. Oh, go ahead,
yes,
Jose.
and just to give you an idea, my first girlfriend was black. My second girlfriend, which I was engaged, was white. I've gone out with a Puerto Rican and Dominican women. So I have gone out a little bit of everything. So
Oh,
I'm
so
looking for,
your next one will be an Asian old lady. I see. You want it? Jose wants to taste the rainbow, and it's not the Skittles.
okay, uh, I'll plead the fifth on that and allow my cyber son-in-law to stay.
Okay, MK, you wanted to come up here. So, what are your thoughts about the concept of the manosphere being dead? What are your thoughts on that?
Hmm. Can you hear me? I mean, I've been saying that 3 years ago. I mean, I saw the writings on the wall years ago. I joined it when I was like middle school, high school, and I never really embraced what they were saying. But it was nice to hear men speak about their experiences at a time where I, you know, didn't really understand mine. But I think the red pill is needed. I'll be honest. Honest, the red pill is needed. You can't, from your teens to your like late till like 29 is when you need it, and when it's needed for you to function around women and for you to be on your purpose. But I think after that, it starts when you start carrying it on to your 50s, 60s, 40s, it starts looking ridiculous. Even in your 30s, you start looking ridiculous. So we have a lot of older guys in the space who love to talk, and I'm like, you guys are supposed to be married. You supposed to be out of the game. You supposed to be telling me how to get with a woman and stay with a woman. This is supposed to be the stage where you guys teach. But instead of that, we got not only older dudes competing with us, we got them trying to talk down to us and trying to prevent us from creating legacies because they feel some type of way, or they want to reclaim some type of form of glory. It ain't my fault that you missed your whole adulthoods in the when you were 20, 30. It ain't my fault that you a dad now and you didn't want to be. The best thing for you to do is to teach the younger generation how to function as husbands, and the same thing goes for the women. Why? Because the thing about the manosphere conversation is when we talk about women, or when we talk about the men and we turn it on the men, I think a lot of women have a tendency to be like, well, yeah, you go ahead and tell it, because we have a tendency to once we're talking about one or the other, then we want to jump in and amen. The women have that same issue too. Not everything the man is saying in that sphere is wrong. Just like not everything the women are saying on the other opposite side is wrong. So both sides have to stop being so hard headed and realize that you gotta stop being anti family and realize that family is what's gonna get us moving forward. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, thank you, MK. I agree 100%. By the way, can you guys believe, like, at some point I was like very into the red pill content, and the first person I heard said that the manosphere died was MK. Literally, I remember when he told me like this space has just tapped out. It's dead. There's nothing more to learn. I'm tired of the same three topics like fat woman, unruly thoughts, and single mothers. Like, I'm tired of that. So yeah, I think to a degree is, yeah, this space is very much dead in my opinion. I agree with MK on that. Like, the red pill is needed for like that young boy that was never in contact with strong male authority in his life, and it's getting treated like crap by women and young ladies and doesn't have any guidance. But after a certain age, like once you get all the hate out of your system, you're supposed to graduate from the red pill. So I see that Ramon is also here. What's up, Ramon? ¿Cómo estás?
Hey, chica, ¿qué
El
es que hay?
defensor,
¿Todo
el
bien?
defensor de Real Fem Sapien. No, I'm joking.
No, 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 pero lo único que yo estaba tratando de aclarar, the only thing that I was trying to kind of like clarify with you, it was about her kind of like making a hypergamy move and getting together with a guy who had a bit somewhat more security, or and her trying to initiate the interaction with the man. I mean, this is something that it doesn't surprise me at all that she made the first move, that she wanted to get with the guy. I mean, she's Puerto Rican. We know from culture that the women in our group, then they can make the first move. That's something that I witnessed. That's
Yeah,
something that I
they're
saw
aggressive.
that I
They're
saw in
aggressive.
myself. So her kind of like making the first move, trying to get together with this higher rank, pulling rank, literally on her ex. That's just something that I guess it would have been somewhat expected. Her making the first move and kind of like because it shows that she had kind of like a bit of a plan for it. I mean, she may have gotten with the first husband when she was still in the military, and she meets this man of higher rank. Usually, higher rank means that the means are better. So
But let me
he
ask you.
realized that he was single, and it's like, oh, let me see what I can do. Let me see
Let,
if I can
let me
monkey
ask,
branch here.
let me ask you something. How does that align with the message that we're saying out here when we're telling women, right, that you should be submissive and loyal to your
Mhm.
husband, even if he's a blue collar worker? Like, we're not talking that her husband was scanning articles at Walmart. Her husband had a decent rank within the
Yeah.
military. So he still had the benefits and everything. He was, like I said, he wasn't a Starbucks employee.
No.
So basically she's saying, "Oh, that's not good enough. I still want to go after the big box." You get my point? So like, is it what message are we really sending out here about the respect that men that are blue Henrys out here, like, what message are we sending to those guys that are in the making, that are women, that they can only get a woman that's gonna like them by their resources when later in life when they're 50?
Hey, I mean, the message will be watch how women move, not what they say. I mean, because those are usually two different things. I mean, what a woman will say, what somebody can say, it sounds very good, but you have to watch how they move. What is it that they do? I mean, yes, I agree that there is a contradiction here because because the message that you will expect from somebody like Rian Fem Sapien will be like, okay, the man is a good provider, he's a good man, he's married to the woman, she should be loyal to him and she should cooperate with him. But in practice, it seems like she wasn't like that. I mean, she was trying to pull a hypergamy mode and trying to upgrade. Now, uh, to be fair, we know that women by nature are trying to get the best possible option for themselves. That's a given. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that because it's been like that forever. But yeah, her saying something else, those make her contradictory at the very least. I don't want to call her a name because we know which word we can think about it, but
Yeah.
it's contradictory and it's dishonest.
Yeah, it's like it. She's been preaching out here Christianity, and I've said it many times. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in the concept of Christianity because I think it's magic. But even as an atheist, I can respect the concept of marriage. So
Mhm.
so my thing is, it's okay to be hypergamous. Like, of course, all of us are. Like, I wouldn't be with MK if he was below me. Like, that's it,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Like, if you are a guy that's not getting women, you gotta evaluate what you present to the market. You probably are below man. Nobody wants to be with a man
Mhm.
like that. So it's okay to be hypergamous, but the message that she's sending out here is that she's a Christian, but she doesn't respect the concept of marriage because you're still an option even while married. You know how crazy that sounds?
But you mean right now when she's doing all of these live
Even
streams
now.
and talking to other people and all? Are you talking about that when it
Yeah,
comes to
yeah.
keeping
You're
herself an option? Okay.
yeah, she's
Mhm.
she's still an option because if you did it in the past, that's your character, right? Like that's who
Mhm.
you are. Like if you were able to still be an open option for someone, then come on now, like let's just keep it real.
Okay, is the mother part of her that she's not getting
Yeah,
rid of that easily? Yeah,
yeah. It's
yeah.
it's
She's
like it's
still
the
kind of
it's
like
the
looking for
daughter.
something else.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because it's like how can I explain it? I can come up here and try to sell people like I'm a lovey-dovey, like super submissive wife bullshit crap story. Like that, no
Hmm.
one. First of all, no one's gonna believe that because I'm Puerto Rican. So right off the bat, I'm losing. Like let's just keep it real.
No,
Right?
no.
So, like no one's gonna believe that.
Only somebody who has never been with a Puerto Rican or a Latin in general will believe that. I mean,
Like right off the bat, like I am already
the
losing.
whole submissive Latina is laughable. I mean,
Um,
You know?
excuse me if I can just
But
chime in.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, as a Christian, okay, it's one thing to say that you are a Christian. Your life should reflect that philosophy. If there are things in your life that are contrary to what you believe, we have a term for that. Call it giving bad or false testimony. Okay, because everyone has a crazy concept what considers to be a Christian. Christian could be anything. Okay, but even as an atheist, once you are married, you are off the market. There's no such thing as being an option or what have you. Once you
Yeah,
say I do in front of a priest or a judge or the stars or the moon or what have you are off the market.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
it's
this
like
whole
people want to forget. People want to forget like I don't tomorrow I can be pissed off that MK left clothes where he wasn't supposed to. I can be pissed off that whatever the hell, he can be pissed off of me for whatever reason. Unless my life is in danger or a sustainable reason, like he cheated or I cheated and we can't live with that, like there's no reason for us to divorce.
mhm.
I'm literally off
unfortunately,
the market. Like I'm literally like off the market. I'm not an option to anyone. I'm with
Mhm.
this man till I'm dead. So yeah, I might be not perfect, but guess what? Like my dad used to say, te chupas tu limón hasta el final. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand when did this became a like oh let's just get divorced and I'll just get with a better man because I just saw it's like you buying a house and you sign all the paperwork and the people that have ever signed a mortgage you guys know how much paperwork you have to sign, right? So
oh
after
yes, 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 I know, I know, I
you
know, I
sign
know.
all
Believe
the paperwork, yeah, you sign all that paperwork, you committed to the house, you start making payments for 5 years, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what, I like this house, but I want, instead of sticking to my house after I sign all this paperwork, I just want to de-sign this paperwork, get all my money back that I invested here, and go invest it somewhere else. That makes no freaking sense.
it
It's not
does
supposed to because a lot of
it
those
does
divorces. Okay, go on, Jose.
look it okay as the only homeowner here. Okay, I don't mean to flex, but whatever. Um, that makes no sense. And believe me, I know once I sign all that paperwork, I mean I'm here for whatever time that I'm allowed to live. And the fact of the matter is, one of the problems is people don't look at marriage. It's something like a lifetime commitment. It's just simply stating, "Oh, this person looked at me the wrong way, so I'm going to get a divorce." I mean, come on. And my parents were married for almost 64 years. Okay, that's longer than a lot of countries. I mean, could you imagine anyone nowadays being married for 64 years?
No, no, I cannot. I cannot because right off the bat, we're marrying older. Okay, that's right off the bat. Like for me to be married 64 years to MK, I had to be 90. Okay, legally married, like I will have to be 90 years old. 90 years old.
The
Well,
thing with
Maybe
the
together, I would say
Denise,
maybe together, maybe because we met earlier, but still, like we're married. Like my parents, for example, they met at 14, 15 years old. They were married by the time they were 21, and they had 30 years under the belt as a marriage before they divorced. 30 years together. So I don't think we can measure up to that. I don't think in society like we're at that we're at a point. Imagine we have a bitch out here self-proclaiming herself as the epitome of the determination of what women are supposed to be and how we're supposed to be to our husbands, and the bitch cannot even stay in one marriage. She's hopping like the bunny, the Easter bunny, from one marriage to the other because this one has brighter colors. Like, make that make sense. That
well,
makes no sense.
well, you know what it is, Denise. It's
Mhm.
do what I say and not what I do.
Yeah, it's
that's
like,
what I was
That's being a
saying.
hypocrite.
That's what
and
I'm
it,
saying. Like watch how people move, not what they say.
yeah, and one thing I would say is like, I don't know how to even how to even say this, right? But it's starting. This is what started to make, and I have to admit it. Uh, MK once again was right. Very often, very often he's an excellent judge of character. I'm not, so I have to rely on his judgment. But I try to fight him on this a little bit when I was like, no, like I don't think the Manosphere is dead. Well, unfortunately, he was right because
Uh,
how can go ahead?
but I wanted to ask you which manosphere are you talking about because there is more than one. I mean, because
Well,
if you look at there is the regular manosphere that has been around since like 2006. That was kind of like the white manosphere. The figurehead is a white dude. His last name is Johnson, I think it
yeah,
is, and
those are the whiny whinies that I was talking about earlier. I don't think that
um,
Manosphere is dead, right?
yeah.
But let's keep it real. That Manosphere also is not as mainstream as the one that we're seeing in modern times, which is the black one,
Oh, okay,
right?
yeah, yeah. No,
So
I think they're taking a hit. They're taking a hit right now, but I think they can regroup and kind of like rebuild. They should be able to do that. I mean, what kind of men are we talking about if they can't regroup and rebuild and get back together and
Ramon,
kind of
but
like do a reset? Mhm,
how can they rebuild when you have no woman of substance,
mhm,
no wife that look, like I said, the only person that I consider, even though MK disagrees, right? But the only person I consider a true leader in the space is Obsidian and Dennis Pearly. Sorry if those are not the ones that people follow, but those are the ones that I think are the most genuine ones. If
okay.
we have those two personalities and they try to be, as fair across the board as they can, and the rest of this so-called kings of the space cannot get women of substance or women with decency to
Mhm,
follow the space, you're the leader of what? A bunch of angry teens? You get my point? Like, you're not being the leader because leaders get followers, and women marry women that are decent, that don't have hundreds of bodies on them, that are not out here taking pictures of their ass cracks and their vaginas. Like, they're not following. We're not following these people. You know, women. Imagine I'm not even close, right? I'm not even close to be like this submissive, cooperative, feminine woman. I try to be the best I can for my man because I think he deserves that and then some. And I'm not even following these people. So imagine the women that are more into the traditional role. They're not following them. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly my bins when he said Obsidian explicitly stated that he does not care about relationships. He said he is in it for the money. He literally said that on the stream. He said, "I am here to make money off of black women fuckery." That's why I respect Obsidian so much because he's honest. He said it. I'm not here to give advice to no one. I'm here to make money off of black women fuckery.
Mm.
And that's what it all comes down to. That it all comes down to uh all these ladies trying to make money off of these desperate dudes that want validation, but they're not realizing that in the desperation for validation on their grievances, they are embracing the same women they're complaining about. That means that you can put a product in the market, right? I can design shoes today and I put them in the market and I said, okay, I consider these shoes luxury items. And they're going to start at a modest price of $1,200. And the most expensive one will be $19,000 because they're handmade and they have the best, Melanie leather, whatever, goat leather, whatever,
Yeah, and
whatever.
the shoes cost $12 to make.
And
Like,
let's just
Less.
put them out there, right? Let's just put them out there in the
uh-huh.
market, and 1 month passes by, no one's buying my shoe.
Hmm.
2 months, 3 months, a year, 2 year, 3 years. Okay, should I lower the price, or you think I should amp up the price of the shoe?
No, there should be um, the price should be lower. I mean, because you are mostly one is mostly paying for the brand name. I mean,
Okay,
that's like
so
anything that is designer. People are paying mostly for the name because for the most part the item itself doesn't cost that much to make. So
exactly. So if we have a bunch of males, it's the same thing I tell the divestors and the swirlers and the angry feminists and stuff. Like, if you have a bunch of angry males that have been in this space learning, quote unquote, learning from you how to have high standards and the standards that they need to have across the board with women, and the majority of them remain unmarried year after year, hour after hour, month after month, right? Is the
mhm.
price that men are asking in order to offer marriage too high? Yes, it is, because no woman qualifies. No one wants to submit to all of that shit. I can tell you that I have friends from all walks of life, all types of looks, from very extremely beautiful and gorgeous and young, and to ugly, fat, and unmarriable, fuglies. And none of them across the board wants to be a friendly, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive woman that cooks, cleans, and gives exclusive access to a man in order to get cheated on with a smile and get told that she cannot have social media, that she cannot dress a specific way, that she cannot do certain things, that she cannot have girls trips, that she cannot have basically a voice. No one wants that. I don't think women want that. Period. And one thing that's cringeworthy also that I hate when the manosphere women keep bringing this is, oh, like, were women happier in the past? I'm like, how the fuck will we know? What we know though is that if women of the past were happier than women today, the feminist movement would have never existed because women were happy, right? People want to act like the feminists just came out of the woodwork because women were in this perfect garden and nothing happened. Do people know that during, like, before women had rights, women could not purchase property, you could be denied a job, you basically did not had access to privacy in a restroom, you could have been sexually assaulted. Do people know that a man could leave you on the street even though you were a good wife? Those things happened in the past. So the feminist movement did not came out of nowhere. Now, did it turn out in the long run? Did it turn out to be something good today? Absolutely not. But the core of the feminist movement is options, privacy, and security for women. That's the core. The rest that women want to put lipstick on and be naked and protest for the right to kill their babies, I don't subscribe to that. That's BS. That's just BS. I'm sorry. That's just I don't subscribe to that stuff. But let's just keep it real. Men need to come to that realization. Women too. You cannot ask for a man that is 6 feet tall, makes six figures, and has a six pack, and you're gonna come looking like a Wookiee and try to marry that guy. No, no, no. It's not gonna happen. Sorry, no.
Well, it's just that we're living in a time where the woman doesn't have to bring anything of value other than her looks, and the thing is that her looks are is what are gonna be attracting men. But she wants to keep her looks so she can still get attention on social media, which is disrespectful to the man that she's with. I mean, that they can't have it. They're not supposed to have it both ways. And but if that's what they want, if they want to be able to get all of this assorted attention, then they should stay alone. But they can't complain about men not wanting to get with them. We're living in a time where when a man tries to make an approach, and he can easily be me too. He can easily be accused of something that he didn't do.
Yeah,
I mean, it has
it's
made it very
true.
difficult to date these days.
Excuse me, if I just come in. Now, if a woman wants to be independent and be a boss chick and depend on herself, that's fine. The thing is, she has gonna have to accept the consequences of her actions. I mean, she can't be saying out loud, "I'm a boss chick and I'm independent. I'm my own boss," but yet want a traditional man when she's not willing to be a traditional woman. That does not make any sense.
Oh, he
But
has to have the chivalry, the tradition, the provision. It's very convenient for them, but they want to be
but let's
independent and modern and not needing a man, but they still want a man to do for them and pay for their everything.
but this is my thing. I agree with that 100%. Right. My thing is this: are modern men traditional?
Who
Are,
the
are modern what percentage? If you had to put a percentage, what
uh,
percentage of modern men do you think are traditional?
I
a
would
lot of
say
men are
10%.
raised. Well, I can't put a percentage on it, but a lot of men are still being raised to be providers and protectors for women, and they're still being taught that they have to do for women and put women on pedestals. I can't put a percentage on it, but that is still a lot of the upbringing that's going on for
Do,
men. But so a
but
lot of women are getting their way with
do you
men.
really
They're
do you
getting what they
really
want.
think that majority of modern men
Mhm.
are thought to be providers and protectors and know even how to court a woman?
Well, that is the faulty upbringing because unfortunately,
Ramon,
so many of us
Okay,
are being
excuse
brought
me.
up by single mothers.
it's a simple yes or
Okay,
no. Like
if I can just,
is
I'm
it
sorry.
It's not so simple, but it's not so
no
simple. That's why I'm trying to
it's
elaborate.
no,
That's
Ramon,
why
it's a simple yes or
it's
no.
not
Like
that simple. It's not
how
that
many
simple.
okay, how many young males today have the same skill set that older men used to have?
But that's what I'm trying to get
Uh,
at. When it comes to many of the young men that are being raised a certain way, where they are being kind of like more shielded, they're not being brought up with a healthy male figure, even if it's not the dad, that will teach them how to change a tire, how to change the oil on a car, how to do some simple construction, even if it's not on a contractor skill set, but at least being able to fix things around the house. That they are having to call their mothers for simple things like that. It says something about their upbringing. I mean, you can't really fault them all the way.
Okay, this is my
um,
thing. Nobody,
Mhm.
hold
okay.
on, Jose. I'm not. We're not getting to the fault here, right? Because that would be the same thing as saying you cannot fault modern women for not
Mhm.
knowing wife skills or being traditional and saving themselves for marriage because they were not taught. So you cannot fault them
Mhm.
for not having all of that knowledge, right? If we're gonna be fair,
Yeah, for the most part, they
right?
have their mothers, and all of the boys are not having their fathers.
But
So
still,
it's not a.
but look, I'm gonna give you on this. Which person in the home is responsible for telling his or her daughters that men need you to keep your kitty at a not used or low, slightly used status? Who do you think enforces that in a household?
I guess will be. Well, it should be both parents. It should be either one, either or.
No, no, it's not. It's not. But I'll tell you from my experience and the experience
Mhm.
of my friends that grew up like me with a father. It's our father. Your mom tells you how to wash it, how to keep it clean, smelly, how to be hygienic, how to be,
Yeah.
how to administer at home. But it's your father that ensures that when a young boy starts calling your home, it's your dad who decides if you're gonna go out with him or not. That's just how it is. It's your father.
Ideally, but you know that
Exactly.
the
But
mother
then, but
is gonna have to get into that too. Okay,
no, but this is
I'll
but
give you
Ramon,
that ideally, but it's
but
not always.
Ramon, but Ramon,
Uh-huh.
but Ramon. If we're being fair, we have to then use the same, give women the same grace we're giving men. I'm one that understands that men today are not traditional, and it's not by choice. It's because that was the hand that was handed to them. They're basically being like the creator of a thong. They wanted to create underwear, but they didn't have enough fabric. So they decided, hey, everybody has butt cheeks, so I'm leaving them out. That's what men and women are doing out here. We don't have all the information needed, right, to establish healthy traditional marriages, but we're supposed to find a way to actually make it work. And the way to make it work is not to come and say women are supposed to have it all together, even though they had half of a household, but men are not supposed to have it all together because they didn't have only half of the household, because that's not being fair. That's being toxic. Does that make sense?
Well, women are already being given grace. Women in the society, and when it comes to the upbringing and all, women are already being given a lot of grace because there is a certain leeway when it comes to making a mistake. Men cannot make mistakes. When men make a mistake, men are judged harshly. They will have to face swift, brutal consequences immediately. Women are given some leeway and are given some kind of a social caution where they're not really being judged. Men are judged harshly, brutally, swiftly. So the women are already being given grace. So okay, I'm all for being fair, but society, reality, the real world is not really being that fair when it comes to men. Men fuck up, men face consequences,
Um,
period.
mhm.
Period.
If
I
I
don't
can
That's the
just
way it
disagree.
is.
chime in,
I don't
Mhm.
disagree. I don't disagree with that when it comes to like the whole Me Too movement and stuff.
Mhm.
I agree with that 100%. Right? It is true. But I think that this is being inflamed into
Mhm.
something that is not, right? Because I just we came let's just keep it real. We came to this conversation because I was simply asking, if men want to demand traditional values from women, are they traditional enough to demand that? And I haven't gotten an answer from that, right? But in reality,
um,
If a man is thinking about marriage at all, he will have to be traditional to a great extent because the expectation of provision and protections are already gonna be there. Whether it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, today, in the future, those things are never going to change. So
okay,
that part, maybe chivalry, the whole chivalry thing may not be a thing anymore, but protection, providing. I mean, those things have been there and will always be there. So there is a level of traditionalism that comes with it if the man wants to be married. If he
Come
actually
on.
wants to marry, those traditional aspects are going to be there. The thing is that women want to remain modern. They want to be able to have the leeway to do whatever the hell they wanted, and the man can't say shit. Of course, she's not gonna respect him. And in a few years, she's gonna be bored. She's not gonna be happy, and she's gonna wanna be divorced and take everything with her. You
Okay.
know that.
Okay, Ramon, but you're talking about the extremes. You're talking about the horror stories. So
Penny,
basically, no,
Penny,
Ramon, you're talking about the
women do the
horror.
same thing. They
I'm
go
not
to the
saying I'm
same
not.
examples when they wanna make their point.
Look,
And
I'm
what I'm
not.
saying is not extreme. What I'm saying is not extreme. It's what is expected generally. You know it.
I'm
You
not.
know
No.
it. I'm not talking anything extreme.
Okay. I'm gonna clarify what I say. What you're talking like in extremes, right?
Mhm.
Because I think you're inflaming cases, and more than anything, the status of basically our injustice system. Do I believe the justice system is extremely unfair to modern men? 100%.
Right.
Okay, the judicial system right now is bombarding men with a lot of responsibility, none of the benefits,
Mhm.
and on top of that is telling you when to marry, how to divide your assets when they take them away, is also trying to tell you when you can watch and see your kids. It's also telling you when and how you can have access to them, and it's limiting you, and also telling you how much of your paycheck, once you have a child, how much of your paycheck you can actually enjoy, because it's taking a lot of your money away and it's giving it to the woman, when in reality it should be that if you're the parent that has the financial means to provide for your child, then by default you should have your kid with you. I agree with that 1000%. Now my thing is, why are we inflaming these cases as if that is the norm among married people? A lot of married people that we're not talking about are still today going out here, marrying each other, making it work, trying to find solutions, because we both understand that we are flawed people. And I think that's what I'm trying to express to you. I'm not saying that there are not bad women out here. Absolutely. We see them every day.
Mhm.
Every day we see toxic, disgusting, disrespectful, unruly women. That we were just talking about real Fem Sapien, how she did her former husband, and that is one of the so-called what's the name, submissive Latinas. Come
Yeah.
on now, like how she did. Let's just
I,
give
I I
it.
don't even want to imagine an submissive one.
So let's just keep it real. And again, I should know something
We
about it
are.
because I'm
We
Puerto
are keeping
Rican.
it real.
We're not known for our submission. We need to be pushed into that in order to be submissive. So if we're being genuine about this, we gotta admit that what I'm trying to express is that both of us, men and women, will have to come to the table. I don't know if this is the real Dennis Berlin, but if he is, hi, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Well, one
You
of
never
many.
know.
One of many.
Excuse me.
You never know. Hold on, Jose. Hold on. So one thing I would say is we have to come to the realization that we have to start giving each other grace more than walking into relationships with a defensive mindset. If
Mhm.
what we really want as an outcome is marriage, why? Because out there, even though it's brutal, there's horrible men and horrible women out there that we both have to deal with, and we have to sort through all that trash in order to find each other. I agree. However, somebody please verify if this is the real Dennis Sperling. If it is, like I said, welcome, and I appreciate you being here because I'm a super fan of your channel. So one thing I would say is we have to sort through all this trash, right, in order to find each other. However, once we find each other, right? Once we find each other, do we have to do we have to find a way to make it work and compromise with certain things? I'm not going to be the perfect woman I would love to be for my husband. I have to make peace with that. I would love to be that perfect woman, which is why every day I have to take what he tells me, the feedback that he's telling me. Hey, I don't like this. I think you should work on this to be better for me. That's what I do with my husband. Do you get my point? I have to take his lead so that he can shape me into the woman that he wants me to be. Because unfortunately, we're all flawed. And unfortunately, we were not given the proper information. But if we have the desire, we should be able to be in these relationships. And like I said, last till we die. But how are we going to do that if we're trying to make inflammatory commentary and we're listening to people out here that are not who they claim to be, and on top of that are just telling you things to hype you up against one another? We have the Cynthia G's inflaming women and trying to tell them that men are this and men are that, even though she's just a bitter old woman. And then we have all the people out here, all the guys that are not living up to who they say they are, inflaming the men, telling them that all women are this, all women are that. When does it end, Ramon?
Mm-hmm.
You get my point? Like, does that make sense? Now I'm gonna let Jose go
Okay.
because I know you wanted to make a point. Jose, what do you want to say to what we're talking about?
Okay. Now, when it comes to men today that are that will be considered traditional, I would say they're less than 10%. And I'm gonna explain why. And I'm gonna ask, please allow me to speak uninterrupted. Now, in previous generations, men and women was very low. All of a sudden, it came the 50s and the 60s. That's when, unfortunately, a lot of people were being raised by single parents. And quite a few of the baby boomers who raised these people, let's keep it real, did not do such a great job. Okay, which we seen the result of it. And then when we were talking about my stream regarding where the baby boomers screwed up, okay. But at this point, what we need to do is both male and female need to have realistic expectations of what we expect. Look, in my case, I'm 60 years old. Okay, so obviously, any female that I'm going to get into a relationship, it's going to be have a few bodies under her belt. Okay, I've never been concerned about how many bodies that she had. I mean, I'm more concerned about what do we have to help each other? Are we able to deal with each other with all our limitations and what have you? There were other points I wanted to remember, but just unfortunately, I completely forgot.
Something that I wanted to say really quick, in response to some of the shaming language that I see on the chat. I mean, all I'm saying is, when it comes to the whole thing about the divorce, I'm talking about from people that I have met myself that have told me horror stories about them having to deal with the whole child support thing and how they're getting screwed over and what is it that they're dealing with. They're having difficulties being able to see their kids and how the kids are being used as pawns and um, things like that. I'm going by what I have been told by people that have lived it. I haven't had to deal with that, but that doesn't mean that I can't learn something from people that have had to deal with the experience, how the child support office is run by a bunch of feminists, and they're always kind of like doing everything to benefit the mother the most and to screw over the father the most. That kind of thing. It's not even about what is online. Yeah, I'm going by what I have been told directly. Yeah, but that was basically I wanted to make that clarification. But yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying, Denise. I get it. I get it.
Okay.
I mean, and I'm all for being fair. So, but Jose, you were saying something.
No, I was just saying hello to Don Armando.
Yeah, Don Armando, what's going on, man?
No, I just want to give Don Armando.
Yeah, I'll be quiet.
You know what I think? Okay, I think what's happening is that he's muted because sometimes they're playing music. So in order to prevent Denise from getting a community strike, so sometimes what he'll do is he'll mute himself.
Mm. Oh, okay.
Okay. But
oh, okay.
But the
Yeah,
fact of the matter, look.
I see Denise's post.
When we okay. I wonder if Denise is having some Wi-Fi difficulty.
All right.
I mean, that happens to all of us.
Well, I don't know if she's using the same provider as you.
Oh, Don Armando, I'll be in the Philadelphia area Thursday night.
All right, so I'll just come up and hopefully we can link up.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll text you the name of the hotel and the address once I get to Philly. Okay.
All right, that's what's up.
So yeah. Don Armando, I'm back. We were struggle streaming for a minute.
Yeah. So now you have it.
Yeah, now I have the Cricket Wireless that I make fun of you for having, Jose.
Oh man! Oh,
it's my turn.
Oh man!
That's what I call karma, Denise. Karma.
I think so. It was my turn for all the fun I made of you and your internet. But going back to what we were talking about, guys, I think, to be honest, we need to start sorting through the personalities we have out here. Okay, we have people that have good intentions, but we know that the road to hell is going to be,
paved with good intentions.
So, and we also have here people that just want to profit. And I think, the issue with Pearly, with real Fem Sapien, what we saw with Melanie King, what we're seeing with some of these ladies, Six the Goddess, for example, like all these girls that we're seeing, again, quote unquote good intentions, but do they really have good intentions, or are they just trying to make money? Because in my opinion, that's just the way I see it. They're not trying to help us as women be better. They're just trying to fluff some of the men and babble things they can't fully comprehend. And like I stated before, go ahead, Don Armando, because I know you haven't talked. You want to say something? Go ahead.
My thing is this: when you actually see all these guys who could say that they're that they think that they're doing something new or they're helping men or everything like that. When you actually look at the women that they talk about, women empowerment and everything like that, just look at their strategy. That's all I got to say. When you look at their strategy, they're trying to actually have a cult following. So therefore, in some of these women empowerment minds, they want to be like the next Oprah or something like that. So if you actually see like their patterns and how they actually engage people and everything like that, you'll see there's
You kind of cut off.
Yeah, you
Armando.
kind of cut off Don Armando. I think he muted himself. I think he muted himself. But I kind of agree. Like you have to. We're gonna have to start. And I think as women, especially if you believe in the concept of marriage, we're going to have to, as married women, we're going to have to start coming into the space and asking difficult questions. I was asked this morning by many people simping for Miss Melanie, oh,
Mhm.
come up the stream if you voice your grievances. I'm like, no, like I'm just questioning this person because look, we all make mistakes, like I stated before, we're all flawed. Wasn't it easier for her to just say, hey, I let myself go. I had way too many. I shouldn't have as a mother of two, right?
Right.
And I was wrong. I apologize.
Well,
That's
that
all
would
it
have
was.
made it a yeah, that would have made it a little bit interested if you had come on and asked her a couple of questions because everybody saw a little bit of the stream and basically all of the guys that were coming off her were simping, basically simping for her, young and old.
Yeah, that's
I,
what I'm
And
saying.
when it
I'm
comes to the
like,
colors, they were just simping. You would have made it more interesting if
I,
you had come up and kind of pressed her a little bit.
I mean, me personally, right? If you actually look at the culture of simping, right? It's to the point that simping is at an all time high. To the point that if a woman is doing wrong or whatever the case may be, you have guys who are simping, like, hey, go do what you got to do and everything like that. I'm like, and then sometimes you have to look at these men and be like, yo, what's your manhood at, yo? That's all I got to
yeah,
say.
because basically they're basically trashing the honor of men that are actually putting the work. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that, but like there we have males out here that have to sort through so much in society, and then we have these idiots out here simping and quote unquote forgiving women for thottery and thought behavior on behalf of all the men, like making things difficult for men. That makes no sense to me. Does that make sense to
No,
you
no,
guys?
it does. It doesn't make any
No.
sense because if you
No.
actually look at it, simping it's just from men who actually, I guess, wasn't taught on how by a real man on how to be a stand up guy. So therefore, they're thinking that okay, since women are doing this or that or third, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get into a relationship with you.
Oh, he muted himself. You muted yourself, Don Armando.
Oh, you cut off.
Yeah, yeah, because there's like a lot of music playing in the background and stuff. So I don't want you to get a copyright strike.
Okay, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Continue.
All right. The thing is though, it's like if you see all these guys and they doing all that actions and everything, they just they just don't know what is a real man because they didn't have a good example. And then when they see a real man standing up and saying like, "Yo, I don't want this and I don't want that," then they want to try to become our enemies and such. Or in other ways, they do simp actions to try to derail a real man from doing what he got to do.
Yeah.
I'll put myself for example, right? In my job, there was a guy who was simping for a Latino woman in my job, right?
Oh Lord. For the lovely submissive Latinas. Continue.
But the thing is, though, the Latino was not submissive in the traditional sense. You get what I'm trying to say? So this guy, this is how you know he was a true simp. Now, this was around the time before I got married. So around the time before I got married, this guy was always used to stalk on this woman and see her and everything. Used to talk about her like he was talking to her. Remind you, this guy could not even speak the Spanish language, and that female cannot speak the Spanish language either.
Hmm.
So what happened is that this female always used to be around me, but I never wanted her because she always had the bad intentions. And at that time, I was saving up and I was putting money towards my wedding. And she always used to ask me for money. And I'm not going to give her because you work just like me. Now, The guy, he sees that this female is giving me attention and everything like that, and I'm not giving her attention. He went up and tried to start a beef with me for two things. First, because that female likes me, and then when he saw when I was not paying her attention or not giving into her whims, he wanted to start. He wanted to beef with me even more because I was refusing that chick. So that's pure simp behavior in its finest hour. Don't you agree?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's how can I explain it? It's what we're seeing is the result of, like, I think, layers of misinformation, lack of information replaced with misinformation. For example, you don't get the information in your house on how to establish healthy relationships that will lead to marriage that will be stable till you die. So it's being replaced with the misinformation of people that are trying to profit, and it's going to be very difficult for people that don't have the right information to have some discernment into who's actually giving you more Kool-Aid than medicine and who's giving you more medicine than Kool-Aid. I don't know if you notice that people that actually give you more medicine than Kool-Aid have a less following than the people that give you them more Kool-Aid. I
Of
have an
course.
example right here. Like, look at what Jeremy just said. He said Dennis Perlin is saving black men's lives. No bullshit. Same with Obsidian. Now, do they have more than a certain amount of subscription count? No, because that's not necessarily what people want to hear. Sometimes me and MK sit down, watch one of Dennis Perlin's streams, and he's telling people harsh truths. How many people today are not sensitive enough to listen to, hey, you're messing up, you're fucking up your life, this is what you're supposed to do, and you have to admit your responsibility in this issue? Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people. So of course, that's what we have to deal with. And I love what my bidding said when he said they support the thottery because that means more kitty in the streets for them. The men that are looking for wives got to deal with the aftermath of those that support the Totorinas. And it's true. It is true. The men that are actual husbands are heavily irritated by what's happening out here. And they're being called the very thing that the guys that are supporting the top behavior are, which are simps. Because if you're out here defending top behavior and saying to people and ladies like Melanie King, oh, you have a pass for cry twerking to the passing of the Godfather, which was something, again, if you don't find that extremely disrespectful, I don't know what's wrong with you. You are mentally deranged.
But
Cry
then,
twerking.
but then, if you really look at it, right, a lot of the people who are actually against Kevin Samuel or against real men, period, they when a man is actually trying to uplift another man on how to be a better man, 9 times out of 10 they will be hated by women. I mean, the one who practice extreme feminism, to the point that when a man is actually doing what he has to do, you have to go and sift through all these toxic women that have mental issues, etc., in order for him to be a good man. And there is a movement which a lot of people do not pay respect to, or a lot of people do not understand. Shout out to all of the people who call themselves Mgtows, because you have some men who are Mgtows. They just trying to get it on their own and everything like that. They're not with the alpha male, beta male nonsense. That's what they say. And the thing is, though, you have more women or hating on the MGTOWs than the people who claim themselves to be alpha male, etc.
Well, I'll give you my opinion on the Mgtow, right? There are men that genuinely tried, failed, and were put off of relationships. Again, I support them in that because we know women that tried, failed, and were put off of relationships. I don't think you should cheat yourself out of the beauty and the benefits of a relationship, but if that's your choice, it is what it is. My problem with MGTOW, red pill, black pill, and all this stuff is that we have a lot of people, right, using these terms in order to stay safe. Like, for example, if I know I am not as attractive, or like Obsidian says, non-select male, instead of me trying to become a select male in order to get what I want, which is woman, because let's keep it real, men want women, just like women want attention from men. So instead of me trying to like become a better guy so that women find me more attractive, I will hide behind the fact that, oh, I'm a Mgtow. You get my point?
Let's
Like,
call them. Let's call them what they are. They are lazy incels.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to use
That's what
that
they
term.
are.
'Cause for me,
They're
like,
incels. I could never be that.
you get.
I mean, if you actually look at it, right, the people who actually fall into the category and they just want to use the term MGTOW. The
Mhm.
first, the thing is though that MGTOW they actually have relationships. They just going on their own. But then you have certain people who are incels that they want to try to bash the MGTOW, or the incels. They will try to make the MGTOW look like the how shall I say, like the outcasts of society. When the fact is, you have some MGTOWs that is like, yo, leave us alone. You could go around and be what you want. We're just trying to get it on our own. So therefore, when it's the crux of what they're saying, there's incels who are actually faking that they're MGTOW, and then there's the real MGTOWs that actually have relationships. It's just that they just they're just getting it on their own.
Yeah, they're probably. I
Mm.
don't know about those MGTOWs because what I have heard, but I could be wrong because of course I'm not a male. But what I have heard from the MGTOWs is that you have a bunch of males that have decided, hey, either no woman qualified for my program, or I tried, failed, and didn't like how it felt, and I don't want to do it again. Or you have a large group of these guys that are like, hey, I'm just not going to put in any type of effort on making myself likable. It's kind of like the same with a woman. Let's just, because it's both sides. Like if you compare side to side, white men and women are not getting together in modern society, you're going to realize that it's based on the same arguments and the same issues. And it all comes down to laziness and fear. Because you have women out here, like, okay, I'm going to use myself as an example so no one feels attacked. When I met MK, you guys know I've shared this story many times. He did not like me. He used to tell me like he only liked me as a sister and he friend zoned me, but I wanted more. So what I started doing, well, I started working out. I started always looking my best. I always kept myself looking very beautiful. I always had my hair on point, my makeup on point, my nails on point. I always smelled good. I was always very friendly to him. I will bring him food. I will bring him candy. I will bring him cards and stuff like that until the relationship happened. You get my point? But that requires work. And a
Mhm.
lot of people today think that relationships just magically happen. And that is not true.
No.
Okay.
Trust
You
me,
have
it's
to
not.
work. Yeah, it's
I,
constant work.
I'll put myself I'll put myself on, for example, right? For me to, I'll tell you how forward I was when I got with my wife. The first thing I told her, I was like, you could tell that I was more courageous than anything. I told her like around maybe the first or second month of the relationship, I was like, I want to meet your parents, and she was like, what? I was like, yeah, I want to meet your parents. So like around the second or third month, I believe, I went and I met her moms because I actually went down to Philadelphia to meet her moms. So her mom was asking me in Spanish, "What's your intentions with my daughter?" I told I told her straight up, "I want to marry your daughter." And years later, I married her daughter. So I
Yeah.
had my intentions and everything like that, but at the same time, you have certain people that they might think of you of a certain way just because the way you look at. But at the same time, you have to work to sometimes when you're in a relationship, it's not only that you have to work on you and your lady relationship. You have to work on the relationship with your future in-laws, etc. So therefore, when they see that you are actually putting your best effort, and you're actually respectful to them and every time and everything, they'll actually rock with you. Than if a person is like, oh, I'm going to be against them and everything like that. At the end of the day, a relationship is not only between you and your lady, but it's actually between her family and your family also.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? That's a little bit off topic, but I'm gonna say something on that. You gotta pick your wife or husband really truly, because not everyone will understand that your family is insane. And that's not even, that's an understatement. But I want to focus on and thank you, Don, for sharing your thoughts on that and your experience with your wife. I want to highlight what me Beatings is saying when he said, or she said, I don't know if you're a woman or a male, he said, y'all hit the nail on the head. That's the same reason non selective women have such high standards, hiding the fact that they can't find a man he needs to make 200K. Oh my God, you could have not said it better. Why do you think women out here that look like a Wookiee, that put no effort into losing the weight or even going to get a normal pedicure, normal, you
No,
know,
those women are looking for a dude. Those women are looking for a dude who is gonna be stupid enough to meet
Tanim,
them.
Tanim, even Wookiees need love.
No. But those women, two things. Those women are looking for a dude that is gonna be stupid enough to meet their demands, not
no, no.
realizing that those demands are for the guys that they don't really like to begin with, so they wouldn't last anyway.
Uh,
So
No, no.
all right, but there's a question that I got to ask all
But before
the
your
men
question,
on this panel.
before your question, I want to say the Wookiees and the women that are non-select, that they know they're not attractive, they're not. Let's just call them Wookiees. Period. Shumi. Okay. The
mm,
Wookiees know they're not select. They cannot go out there and make themselves more attractive to men, even if it costs them, because they're lazy, and that is true. They're scared of rejection and they are lazy, because you can be a 3. If I was born, I know, again, I've said it many times, I know I'm overweight, I've said it many times, but my face is beautiful. How do I make myself more attractive to the men that I wanted to marry? Well, I had to lose the weight. That's just how it is. Period. But let's say, for example, that I had a Wookiee face. I will go under the knife. If that's the name I want, I will make myself beautiful. That's why I'm sorry, but I have to give kudos to Kim Kardashian. She knew she looked like Jafar. She made herself look extremely beautiful. Okay, and I have to respect that. Same with Kylie Jenner. Now my thing is, the Wookiees are asking for unreasonable things in men because they are scared of rejection, and second, because they know not a single man on earth will qualify.
All right,
That's just how it is.
all right, but I
What
got a
about emojis?
but I got a theory about the Wookiees though.
What is it?
All right. You know that we're talking about the passport brothers and everything like that. And a lot of people don't see that the first movie that actually exposed the passport sister was what was that movie with Angela Bassett and Tay Diggs? Waiting to Excel, right?
yeah, no, you're
No,
talking
no,
about
no.
how Sarah got her
No,
group
how
back.
Stella got her good. Yeah.
Stella got her groove back. Right. So if you really look at it, the Wookiees who are actually high paid and everything like that, don't you think that most of the passport sisters, if we could call them that, like maybe 50% of them are Wookiees?
Can you reframe the question? You mean
Um,
that the women that watched the movies, you think they were Wookiees?
No, I'm saying the actual passport sisters. You know, the women that actually go to the Caribbean and Asia and everything like that to have a good time. Don't you think that
Oh,
50% of them
Jamaica,
is Wookiees?
Jamaica. Yeah, they're not going to no Asia. They're going to Jamaica. That's what they're going.
That is true, because I don't know if you guys
guys,
remember in 2020. Give me 1 second, Jose. I don't know if you guys remember in 2020 when we were seeing there was a lot of women that were beautiful traveling, but there was also like a lot of these Wookiees were traveling to Puerto Rico. I don't know if you guys remember that on the news. And it was hilarious because they were fighting, throwing wigs at each other, peeing on sidewalks. It was
Oh, okay,
horrendous.
yeah. During the pandemic, when the air tickets
Yeah,
were really cheap, and they will be showing off, getting into fights at the airport, getting into
it
fights
was
on the
so
street,
bad.
and
It was
riding scooters in the middle of Doriotti de Castro.
it
You're
was
not supposed to be
hilarious.
riding a damn scooter there. That's a highway.
Oh my god, it was. I would have
Um,
paid to be back at home. I swear.
Yeah.
um,
Look at. I
excuse
want to see this. Go
me.
ahead.
I got a solution. Okay, I think the Wookiees should marry the Jabba the Hutts.
Oh,
All right, but then that would produce more Wookiees and Bigfoots. Let's be honest.
You, you,
But then I'll give some credit to the Wookiees. You know what I mean? To the Wookiees that can land the $250,000 man or whatever,
so
because you know what they're using, and is just I hate to say it, you know what they're using. That's all I got to say.
I want to give a shout out to Grey Wolf STL when he says, Denise, a lot of times you will see a Wookiee with a man. It's all about the attitude. I
the
agree
man
with
is
you
broke. The man is
100%.
broke. The
No,
man
no,
is
no.
broke. That's
I
what it
would
is.
tell you this. Look, when I used to watch Kevin a lot, there was something that he said that stuck with me, and I started watching outside for it, right? And you will see men of substance that were willing to go down in looks if women were pleasant. And it's something about what I've heard a lot of guys say about women being big and violent. Again, I'm part of the
Mhm.
big girl crowd, I'm part of the big Shirley crowd, but I cannot be violent on top of that to make myself more undesirable. You have to be pleasant. Like
Mhm.
I don't know how the hell this cannot get through some woman's skull. Like you cannot be fat, unfriendly, have an attitude, and then on top of that, expect men to meet your expectations. So I agree with Grateful STL. It's always about the attitude. Like if a man feels like very happy to be around you, if he feels at peace and relaxed and stuff, he's going to want to come back even if you look like a
uh,
Wookiee. Now, let's not get carried
Denise,
away. Wookiees don't get with Captain America, but they'll get with a decent man. Go ahead, Jose.
Denise, you know what's the problem with that? Do you like to say it or should I say it?
Oh, you say it better than me. Go ahead.
It makes too much sense. Oh,
Yeah,
speaking
but the thing
about
about the attitude, the whole thing about the attitude is
speaking about
okay.
attitude, speaking about attitude, guess who recently called me a couple of weeks ago?
Who?
My
Oh, just
ex-wife.
put it. Really? We'll talk about it.
Yes.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when we're like backstage. But I know Ramon wanted to say something about the attitude of the Wookiees and stuff. Go
No,
ahead,
the
Ramon.
whole thing about negotiating for the attitude is a real thing, because if you got a woman who is a knockout, a perfect 10, but if she's a conceited bitch, a man is not gonna stay with her long. I mean, he would rather go for a woman that might not be as attractive, but she's gonna be pleasant. She's gonna be cooperative. She's
All
gonna
right.
have a decent demeanor. He's gonna be nice. He's gonna be like fun to be around. I mean,
I
those
mean,
things
yeah, that's
matter.
true because some of these Wookiees, they actually have good personalities, and if you just go past their looks and everything like that, and just drinking Jack Daniels, you could actually have a fully functional sex life.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ah, Lord. But look, in all honesty, the same can be applied all throughout, right? Like we're talking about the Wookiees and stuff, and I agree 100%. Wookiees are setting the bar very high in order for them to justify being single, saying, "Well, no man qualifies for my standards because they're scared and they are lazy." We already established that. So the same goes for these guys out here, like saying that they need a woman that is, you know, fit, feminine, friendly, corporate, submissive, low body count, no kids, beautiful, and whatever, and inspirational. But they are literally just not putting in the work. So you have to. There's something that my mom used to tell me when the concept of having kids always came around, which was, you don't have a kid when you're a teen because even birds can reason that. And she used to tell me, I believe you're smarter than a bird, and you don't see birds just putting eggs in the air and just trying to find a nest randomly. They put together a nest and then they have the kids. So of course, same thing applies here. If you want a woman that checks all that criteria, you gotta understand, for both men and women, the more effort you put in, the best results you get. The more you climb up the ladder, the best results you get. Low effort brings you crappy results. High effort brings you the best results. So again, I'm gonna start wrapping it off because you guys know I don't like to go over 2 hours and a half, and it's already 2 hours and 40 minutes. So I want the panelists to give me their final thoughts, ones that we already have discussed, the inflammatory culture of the manosphere right now, and the personalities that after the Godfather passing are out there. And I want you guys to tell me in very brief statements, is the manosphere dead? Why is dead or is not dead? And what can be done moving forward? So I'm gonna start with Jose. I'll go with Don Armando, and I'll finish with Ramon. Jose, go ahead.
Okay. Look at this. It's dead. Point blank.
En el nombre del Padre, el Fili, Espíritu Santo.
Okay.
But no, but all joking aside, thank you, daughter, for allowing me to express my point of view. I think what needs to be done is that both male and female need to have realistic expectations when it comes to dating. Until it gets to that point, the stupidity will continue. And then, of course, you'll have the circus being the circus. That being said, I know for my case, I'm 60 years old, so therefore I cannot expect anything other than someone that can somewhat tolerate me, and I can tolerate her, even though I may be a fuss butcher, whatever, or in your case, I'm like 1 foot into the grave. But all kidding aside, it was a great topic, and I think we need to discuss this at another time. And thank you very much, and it's always a pleasure to interact with all of you and with everyone in the chat.
Thank you very much, Jose. It's always a pleasure to have you here sharing your wisdom. I'm going to put you backstage. Now I'm going to move to Don Armando. Don Armando, is the manosphere dead? And if so, what can be done to revive it, or what can we do moving forward?
To me, it's this: the manosphere is dead because everybody's using terms to describe themselves. How about just be a real man for once? Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to compare themselves to wolves. So at the end of the day, just be a real man, stand up for your family, and then everything will be good. Now, if you can't make a family, or you want to go and blame whatever case maybe a person's ugly, maybe you don't know how to talk to a woman or anything like that, well, guess what? None of these so-called guys, I'm not saying it's Kevin Samuels, but I'm saying the guys after Kevin Samuels are not going to help you get a female. So you have to go and search within yourself to get a female. See what flaws you have. That way you could be a better person. Until then, The manosphere is dead because you have a lot of idiots running the show. And that's all I got to say.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Don. And to add to what Don was saying, look, I get a lot of guys that want to criticize that, oh my God, what is this worshiping of Kevin Samuels and whatever, whatever. But I'm going to tell you something. If you're out here on the streets struggling to get a woman and you don't know why you're not attractive to women, if you did not watch The Godfather is given free game. And as a woman, I can tell you, if men were to do half the stuff the Godfather put out for men to do, you will have no issues on getting women chasing you. That's just thank you, Grey Wolf. He couldn't have said it better. He said, "Real men teach the weak men." That's the way it's always worked. So again, if you are not getting results, the market is never the problem. The problem is you. So with that being said, I'm gonna move to Ramon and his final thoughts. Ramon, is the manosphere dead? What are we going supposed to do? What's the future for the manosphere if so?
When it comes to men, when it comes to manhood, one thing that is always thought about us is that if we get knocked down, we have to get back up. If something gets broken, we are supposed to be the fixers, the ones that put things back together. I don't think that the manosphere, at least in concept, I don't think it's dead. I don't think it's dead. I just think that it needs to regroup and rebuild, because spaces for men to be able to speak freely and express themselves are always going to be needed. And there are certain barber shops in which men can't really congregate and speak freely amongst themselves. They're even losing, men are even losing the barber shop. There used to be other places, other lounges, bars that usually will be men that will congregate and they could speak and could exchange data, information, knowledge amongst each other. Those places, from what I understand, because I don't really go out that, like that. I mean, I don't hang out with other guys and all, but for the younger men that could benefit from hanging around other men that they can exchange data, ideas, informations, they need their spaces. I don't think the concept of the manosphere is actually dead. It just needs to be rebuilt. It needs to be regrouped. As men, that's what men are supposed to do, to rebuild something, to fix something if it when it is broken. It's been damaged, it's been broken. It should be fixed. It should be rebuilt, because spaces for men are needed more than ever, because women have their spaces and men are finding themselves with less and less spaces for themselves. So no, I don't think it's dead.
So you think it could be rebuilt by me? I agree, actually, but I think it's dead. But I agree with the statement you said, where
Mhm.
men are fixers, and it's true. Men can rebuild something else. And I'm gonna steal some of your talking point. I'm gonna put you backstage. Thank you so
Mhm.
much for joining in, Ramon. I always love
Thanks
your
for having
input.
me.
Yeah, and,
Mhm.
and you're hilarious too. So I love both of your inputs. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
put you backstage. I'm gonna take piggybacks from some of what Ramon said. Look, misogynistic alert for the women that always get sensitive about, like, when I say something regarding males, right? Uh, since the inception of women and working spaces and women's civil rights, there is a trend of men, their worlds becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. It was not sufficient with just being a man's wife. We also had to go and be there at the workplace, where men will go and just do their thing and then come back to us. So men decided to invent the bar, or the saloon, like it was called in the past. And guess what? We also had to go in there and bother men and harass them. So men said, let's just invent a strip club, because no woman with common sense will want to go to a strip club and see naked women. Guess what? We also invaded their space, and now they cannot get rid of us. And like Ramon just said, the last fortress of males to decompress from having to deal with us, because let's keep it real, we bring stress to men. It's reality, right? Just like men bring stress to us in different ways, We bring stress to them. It's just that we're allowed to go to the spa and the salon, and they're not. So they had the barbershop, and guess what? Now we're in there too, trying to listen to their tribulations and annoying the hell out of them. So men invented the manosphere. And once again, we see all of this army of ladies coming in there and ruining the manosphere. What men are going to create after that, I do not know. I know it's not my place. But one thing I would suggest to men, gatekeep it from us. This time, try to make it woman proof. Like, don't let no woman, I don't care if you consider her an ally. You have no allies when it comes to a space for you to vent, because our own nature as women, like, we're not going to comprehend certain things. We're always going to take it in an emotional way, or we're going to pretend. And if, like I said, if we have the spa and the salon to and the nail shop to talk, right? Men should have their own space. Gatekeep it from us. Like, we don't need to be there's places where I don't even join certain streams. I just listen, because there's certain things that there's certain spaces we don't belong in. And I don't think we're going to somewhat came to that realization. We are not getting more uh, calm and relaxed. We're becoming more aggressive and violent. So again, I'm sorry. It is what it is. I believe what Ramon said. Men will find a solution like they always do. And it sucks that this space has been ruined once again by women, and they don't have that space. So, like I said, guys, I am very inconsistent now with my shows, because, of course, motherhood is more important to me. So I will be back eventually at some point, and until then, it was a pleasure to be here. I hope that you guys got entertained. You got your talking points and your opinions about what we're seeing right now. Share this stream if you must. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss when I'm on. Because, like I said, guys, I'm inconsistent now with my shows, but you don't want to miss when I go live. So, with that being said, guys, thank you very much. It has been a pleasure. See you on the next one. Bye.